Oh, hey everybody, let's do an update on the 47 Ford. So the last video I did was in July, which was like almost 6 months ago, and I just put 1,000 miles on the car. It's now got 2,000 miles on the car, and quite a bit has changed since then. So I'll show you what I've been up to. So the last video I was still working on the interior. I'm still working on the interior, but as you can see, the front seat is done. This is all done in Naugahyde English pub, and it's real tuck and roll. Piping around the outside. The door panels are all done. Sorry for the glare, the sun's shining through the window. Door panels are done. Kick panels are all done. The rear panels are done. I still have to do the back seat. This isn't my back seat, it belongs to my friend Ross. I still have to do the headliner, which I've been putting off. That probably should have been done first, but I was more concerned about having a seat done because that's what I sit on. So, I mean, it's not a big deal. I can take the front seat out to put that back in. Carpet is all done. This is done in Detroit Loop. Same with these little rear foot things. Aren't those cool? The back seat's so big in this car that it's got like footrests. Don't mind the Model A parts. I've got this cool like vintage cast, I think it's cast aluminum gauge panel. I put that in with some Stewart Warner oil pressure, temperature gauge, and I do have the volt gauge. My friend Jeremy had the match for this. I just have to drive up to his place and get it. He lives a couple hours north of here. So one day I'll drive up there and get it, but in the meantime, at least I've got the essentials. The factory gauges are hooked up, but well, the temperature gauge doesn't work. And the oil pressure gauge, I didn't really trust it, so I got these guys for backup. Now, as you can see, the dash is being sandblasted and painted. That's like a Ford Washington blue, which wasn't a factory color for this car, but it's a color that I like. But I need your opinion on something. So all these moldings here, I never sandblasted and painted them. They're all still in original paint. And the reason I did that is because my dog rides with me, and she sits up there, and her claws are always on here. So I didn't paint them because they would just get wrecked. But since then, I've thought of, if I paint them and then just get this coated in that like 3M clear stuff to protect it, it should probably be okay. So what I want to know is, what do you guys think? Should I just leave it like that? Some people think it looks pretty cool. Or should I paint them gloss blue to match the dash? As far as the rest of the body, I'm not going to leave it in this primer. I know patina is really cool and stuff, but I don't know if this is authentic patina. This is like somebody sandblasted and primed this car and then it just sat outside. So I do want to spray it, and I want to spray it the same blue as the dash, but just with a satin finish. So keep that in mind when you think about the window moldings. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. So another thing I've added is these really cool little kickstand lake pipes. I bought these several years ago up at the Parksville Swap Meet. At the time, I had a 53 Ford F100, and I thought those would be so cool underneath the running board. So I tried to buy them off the guy, but we couldn't like agree on a price, so I was like, I'll pass on them. Left. The next year, the guy tracked me down at the swap meet, and he's like, hey, do you still want those little lake pipes? And I was like, yeah, of course. He's like, I should have sold them to you then, but I don't know why I didn't. Anyways, if you still want them, I'll sell them to you. So I bought them. However, I had sold the F100 at that time. So they sat on my shelf for 2 or 3 years. I was just waiting for like the right car to come along, and finally it did, so here they are. They're not hooked up yet, but I will hook them up eventually. Under the hood, not a lot has changed other than I got these chrome upper rad hoses now. I'm not really like a chrome dress-up parts kind of guy, but a friend of mine, he found them. He was doing a shop cleanup, and he found them brand new in the box, and he didn't have a use for them, so he's like, you might as well have them. So here they are, and at the same time when I put those in, I also put in some 170-degree thermostats. It is December. This is Canada. It's nice to have heat. So that's about all that's new since the last video. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but tuck and roll takes forever to sew. And I mean, it's just, this is my like hobby car, so I just work on it when I feel like it. It's also my main driver. It's like my daily driver. It's actually the newest car I own, aside from my truck, which is a 72, and the truck is only, like, I only drive that when I need to like do truck stuff. The rest of the time, this is the car. So when you're driving it all the time, you don't get much done on it, but at the same time, I'm still regularly working on it. On that note, let's go for a drive. So the car drives really nice, I think, at least. I mean, for a 1947 Ford, it doesn't drive like a modern car, that's for sure, but it's definitely not a modern car, and I don't want it to drive like a modern car. Front suspension's a little on the rough side. I might have lowered it a little bit too much, which is not something I would normally say, but so, I don't know, it doesn't bother me, but if it ever did, I could always just put a standardized spring back in, just to get a little bit more ground clearance, but I'm okay with it. So thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe the video, and also check out lgspeedkustom.com/shop if you want any merch or gear or cool stuff like that. Christmas is coming up. Nothing makes a better Christmas present than a Hot Rod t-shirt. So yeah, go check that out if you want. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the support. We'll see you next time.